What's up, weirdos? You said Sydney Sweeney's a what? Wait, sorry, you said she was posting what propaganda? You said she's a white supremacist what? Yeah, that's what they're saying about Sydney Sweeney online recently. It's blown up into this huge controversy, but also a debate over if a controversy should even exist. But also the fact that the controversy exists at all, and these are the accusations, I think it really does deserve a closer look, Seth Meyers asked. Because there's a lot to it that goes into this. Let's start with the ad that really blew up and turned this into a huge conversation.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Now we'll talk about the ad, but the first thing is like the reaction to the ad. Tweets like this. Oh my God, Sydney Sweeney, an American Eagle promoting eugenics and pushing the Aryan race Nazi propaganda was not in my 2025 bingo card, with a gif of Nene, the goat of the Real Housewives franchise. Seeing eugenics and Aryan race Nazi propaganda, oh my God. The conversation that people are really having in a good faith is that there's some dog whistling going on where it's like, oh no, it's not that, but the ones who know. That's the main thing that I think that people engaging in it from a reasonable position are like throwing out there, which I can see where it comes from. So let's really break it down. Let's go line by line here, and then we'll take a look at the broader context.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Genetics are passed down from generation to generation. Okay, honestly, I do get a little bit tweaked when I hear the word genetics. It's just like if somebody's just in conversation bringing up about how genetics are passed down, it's like, it is something that you frequently see the white supremacists talking about when they're talking about like white erationist or white eraser theory? No, that's a pink eraser. No, erasers are pink. Oh, it's like the white But they'll use language like that where it's like, well, your genetics, you gotta keep your bloodline pure. So I get when you hear genetics, oh, passed down for genetics, and then you're talking about the physical features when the model, white, blonde hair, blue eyes. Ah! Like, I get why the reaction is a little bit, ah! Let's continue.
And even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens.
So talking about eye color, my genes are blue. Oh, the whole reason we brought up genetics is because it's a play on the word genes and blue jeans, blue eyes. Hey, I get why in the writer's room they're a little bit like, hey, oh wait, that's pretty. But you need to have somebody who's a little bit more online to be in that room and say, I just want to throw this out. I know you don't mean anything, but I know you're not trying to say this. But a little blind spot right here might be when you bring up white, blonde hair, blue eyes, and genetics. It's like, I mean, listen, you can talk about it and it's just you're talking about it, making a pun on blue jeans. It is also kind of conversations that were being had in Nazi Germany. I just want to throw that out there. Like, they need somebody who's in the room to like kind of be throwing that out there, because this one specifically is the one. Like, I can see why there's a debate around it. I do not think it was intentional, but I do also think that it was an oversight. So it's a little bit of like deserving of the conversation around it. Even more than that, like not even just on the face value of what the ad is itself. There's also the fact that it seems really like it's a reference to this other ad that I don't even want to show, because it's this girl like putting jeans on talking about genetics and stuff for Calvin Klein, but the girl is Brooke Shields, and I don't know if you know, but she was like 15, 16 at that time. She had like a horror, like so unthinkable, being like viewed and like marketed and pushed that way, and that ad was a really big example of it. And it seems like they're directly referencing it. I mean, Sydney Sweeney's like leaning like this, putting her jeans on, talking about genetics, exactly like that ad. So even if it's like it's a blind spot conversation, it's also like, well, the intentionality of the reference is weird, and I think like messed up. And I mean, I personally wouldn't go out and say that Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle are pushing like genetics, but I think that an honest, critical look at this, there's a big blind spot. And by the way, clearly there was, based on the reaction. The fact that there was this reaction in general makes the reaction kind of valid, because the reaction is about, oh, you had a blind spot that this would get a reaction. You know what I mean? But especially if you look at the other ads in the campaign, it really clearly is, the point of the ads is to push that you know what it's like Sydney Sweeney has great genes is what the marketing direction is, because they're like a gene company. So I get it. Look at the other ads.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here. Look, I get it. Because it's like you're filling in the clothes that you wear. My body's composition is determined by this fuck ass red sequin shirt. They were in the writer's room. They realized that jeans and jeans are homonyms, and they were like, we gotta do a whole homonym campaign. We have to. Somebody call up Sydney Sweeney. We got a homonym campaign. Just surging. But I feel like they're just kind of dumbasses who didn't realize that that homonym also has other things implied when you're doing it in this way. But there's also ads like this where it's just like very clearly what their directive is.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You know what I mean? It's very clear what the campaign is. It's a way that Sydney Sweeney's trying to brand herself, and that's fine. I just think that there should have been somebody along the process who just kind of raised a little red flag there and said, maybe we rethink the one where it's talking about your genes being passed down from generation to generation, blonde hair, blue eyes, white. Maybe we rework that. Also, I've got to talk about American Eagle did actually respond to this. Sydney Sweeney still hasn't responded to it, but let me just show you what American Eagle posted on Instagram because, like, based on what the backlash actually was, I feel like this response, it's something, it's acknowledgement. But look, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes. Her genes, her story. Her story. Her genes, her story. What's the story? What's the story in all these ads that we've seen? Was this made by ChatGPT? Because what human wrote that dumbass thing? Her genes, her story. Hey, American Eagle, have you seen what people are saying about the ad? Because this response, they continued, we'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence their way. Great jeans look good on everyone. Nothing about, we unequivocally did not mean to push some stuff that feels a little bit odd to a lot of people. Talking about good genetics with a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. Talking about how her genetics are good. No one's saying Sydney Sweeney's genetics are bad, but it might be good to be like, oh no, we're not trying to say that at all. Like everybody's genetics are good, because that's what the controversy is about. It's not her genes, her story. It's you guys used a homonym, homophone or homonym. Fuck! I looked it up. It's homophone. Sorry. We're talking about the homophone gene, not her genes, her story. We're talking about the genetic stuff, but at least they acknowledged it. At least they said something. It's not really what anybody was interested in hearing from them, but okay. And real quick, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video. Thank you, HelloFresh. They just doubled the size of their menu to offer over 100 recipes every week, including 2 times more healthy options and bigger portions. There's like over 15 high protein ones that I love. The best part for me about HelloFresh is I get to avoid grocery stores and grocery shopping. Listen, I'm okay with shopping, but sometimes at a grocery store, I'm pushing a cart. For some reason, my mind enters like fight or flight and I'm like struggling. Also, I feel like I just do so many things and then I just forget to cook and I just don't have time to do it. But there are so many recipes with HelloFresh that you can get done in like 15 to 20 minutes, even less sometimes. Also, they've got like ready-made meals that are actually really good. So that plus being able to avoid grocery shopping, I actually really enjoy it. Because here's my criteria. Does it taste really good? Yes. Is it healthy? Yes. Is it convenient? Yes. Also, I actually like going on the website and picking my meals for the week. It's fun. I get excited. A package comes. It a little bit feels like Christmas, but for my stomach. And look, you can take advantage of this new HelloFresh by using my code CooperFM at HelloFresh.com for 10 free meals plus breakfast for life.
1 free meal per box with active subscription. Free meals apply to discount on first box new or returning subscribers.
Again, thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. But now let's get back to the story. But it blew up so big in a way where it felt like a lot of people were just willing to just jumping on, oh, we hate. And I think that that context is also important of why people were primed to not like this. Because Sydney Sweeney, her career, like everything that she's done publicly is kind of been interlaced with controversy like the whole time. Not crazy, but like controversy constantly. So I want to look at all of that and kind of paint a broader picture of the Sydney Sweeney that the public is thinking about when we see that ad with those words and that imagery, you know? Before the controversial ad was posted, I was seeing a lot of people saying stuff like this about the previous ones. Listen, I love Sydney Sweeney as an actress, but isn't she tired of this? Because there was also that Dr. Squatch deodorant campaign, which was, yeah, I gotta be honest, it's pretty hateable. It was a very successful campaign for the Dr. Squatch company. You could see why it got her like a lot of people who hate her. It's just like so directed at a very specific type of audience that it kind of makes you look at her like, why are you feeding to that audience? That's like cringe. So you might cringe watching. Okay, here we go.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Watch. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys.
I'm just gonna stop. It's for men. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I didn't think that she would do that. And then she posted that ad and I was like, oh, okay. And it honestly made me view her very differently because I had originally been kind of like a Sydney Sweeney defender in some ways. Just because I'm like, well, she was like a really good actress in Euphoria. And she's got like that boxing movie coming out and it seems like she really like takes her career seriously. But then this came out and it's like, it's like, the point of this soap is that it's made with some of her like bath water, which is like insane. Why is somebody who's supposed to be like kind of like nearing A-list status doing something that Belle Delphine did? Oh my God, I got a shudder just saying that name. It should have been left in 2018. And that ad, and now with this American Eagle thing, it just makes me see her in a way that's a lot more like, I know The Rock is doing that Smashing Machine movie, like the Benny Safdie directed thing, but I view a person like The Rock or Kevin Hart, somebody who seems so brand and image conscious. It just makes everything seem so manufactured. And this ad, for me, it put Sydney Sweeney in that status where I just find it cringe and I find it a little bit annoying. And I think that a lot of people feel that way, especially when she's so feeding into that one audience. If you are not in that audience, this is a very hateable video. Hey, you dirty little boys, what are your genes? Do I want to pass down my genes with your genes? Do you have blonde hair and blue eyes, just like my genes? Huh? Here's the thing. I used to think like, oh no, she was in Euphoria. Like Euphoria was a good show. I honestly didn't even finish the first season. It was too much for me. I just didn't want to see all that. But I thought like, no. Like, it's like a prestige show. Like she's a good actress. But then I see these ads and she's just like, genes are passed down from generation to generation. Determining factors like skin, and it's like so flat. Hey, you dirty little boys. You want some of it? You can't have it. It's just so flat. Do you know what I mean? Which kind of brings me to the next, or like if we're going reverse chronological order, the next controversy, which was like the cheating PR nightmare with Glenn Powell. Hey, we don't know if they actually did it. But I remember when I saw the trailer for that movie and I was floored by Sydney Sweeney's acting. In a bad way. Like, all due respect. I mean, people are casting her. She is getting roles. I am surely in the wrong for feeling this way. But look.
Just tell everyone we're together.
What?
Who knows what could happen? Convincing enough?
I'm sitting there going, that doesn't feel real. That doesn't feel like I'm watching a real person on screen. That feels like I'm watching somebody read off lines that they memorized. Caught next to Glenn Powell, built like a brick shithouse, handsome as fuck, delivering lines with pure charisma and honesty. And I think that a lot of people feel that way. Because when this trailer came out, a lot of people were saying the same thing of like, oh, it doesn't seem like she's trying to act. It's a little bit Gal Gadot-y. Glenn Powell, we need to get to the stone. And I think that also adds fuel to the fire where people are just primed to not like her because you see a movie that's like huge and you go, I don't really understand why you didn't just cast Elle Fanning. I know what you're thinking right there. Hey, is your family also racist? When are you gonna talk about her family also racist? Right now, let's talk about it. So that is the other thing beforehand where even this Anyone But You trailer, like people are already primed to not like her because of this stuff. So Sydney Sweeney has a mom who turned 60. Bunch of pictures were shared from that event, including a lot of pictures with Sydney Sweeney surrounded by people wearing MAGA hats. Or like this one, bro's got a Blue Lives Matter shirt on right there. This one, you can see Sydney, Make America Great Again. Dude right here who was in the picture, come over here. He's posing with two other people with MAGA hats. It obviously blew up really, really bad. Now here's the thing that I didn't even know until I started like researching this video. Those are not, okay, well, here we go. They're not Make America Great Again hats. They say Make 60 Great Again, which is better, but who's the type of people who would like order that for their 60th birthday? Who would do that? Somebody who hates Donald Trump? I can't really think so, you know what I mean? Also, hey, I moved. Since filming this video, more information has come out that I have to talk about. As of June 14th, 2024, Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican. Who's running for president for the Republican? Oh, Donald Trump, okay. Her voter information came out and you can see right here, voter status, active. So this stuff about, well, it was the people she was around. Well, it's not just the people she was around, it's her. And to like be like really, really clear, like registered Republican, June 2024. That doesn't just mean Republican, like that means Trump support order. Also, this information made it to Trump and Trump responded on video. Let's watch it.
Sydney Sweeney, it came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney, she's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney?
His moves are insane. What is that? What is that? That's our president. What is that?
That who was?
Sydney.
Surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
It's not really looking like a blind spot for Sydney. Kind of looking like she's okay to signal to the people who agree with her that she is one of them. I'm a blonde, white, blue hair woman. My jeans are better. What are we gonna do? Quick, bust out Hunter Schafer and let me go karaoke with her. So I guess in her mind, that's her damage control. Cool. Okay, back to the rest of the video. Just had to throw that in there because I can't make this video without talking about that part. What do you do? That part. Dude, I mean, he's definitely like, that is a Blue Lives Matter shirt on. And look, she's not wearing it. She's at an event where a dude is. She's not wearing the Make 60 Great Again hats, but she is at an event where people are doing it. It does beg the question, if you are a bad person for attending an event where people are doing this, and what does that mean for people who have like family members or like family relatives and it's like a family reunion or like a big gathering? That's why she's not canceled for this, obviously. It's just something that paints a broader picture about her, or a more detailed picture. Now we have an additional detail of, okay, so that's where she comes from. I don't think that anybody is out there honestly going, she's a piece of shit for going there.
I think her ad is fantastic.
The reaction is a little bit more, it paints a picture about where you're from, and then when there's additional information that falls in line with that, it kind of feels like these puzzle pieces are fitting together. And it was just that, and there's nothing else that happened afterwards. Like, what if there was no other controversy ever? Then people would look at that and not feel a certain way about it, as they do when she just keeps being in public controversial situations where she keeps making herself more and more unlikable. Not that you have to be likable, but it's like she has done things that has made her unlikable to a large section of people, which has resulted in a lot of people being a lot more primed to hate her. The outrage to that ad makes a lot more sense when you see that there is a much broader context where it feels like there's all these different puzzle pieces. And I'm not saying they add up to she's like a Nazi. I'm not saying that. When there's all these other things that make her hateable, it's like, well, she's a hateable person, so I hate her for that. It's why I'm not shocked. Also, I think the fact that there hasn't been any public statement about it at all, it gives me mixed signals. I'm talking about the American Eagle ad. At the time of recording this video, it's been days since it's been up. I've been waiting for a response before I filmed this video, but there's just no response. And that has kind of become the response, that they're just like, no, it's not deserving of anything because it's obviously not our intention. And I think that, yeah, it's clearly not your intention. However, you don't want to distance yourself from this a little bit. You don't want to say, absolutely, we are not into that. I mean, there's the argument that giving it any light at all is bad, but it's also like extremely blown up, and I feel like at least Sydney Sweeney would be in her best interest to say something, because she has said stuff in the past, like with this MAGA party, not make 60 great. It's just the hat. There's no joke hat that the joke is funny enough to justify the actual thing. But she did do a response about it. You guys, this is wild. An innocent celebration for my mom's milestone 60th birthday has turned into an absurd political statement, which was not the intention. Please stop making assumptions. Much love to everyone. Happy birthday, Mom. I think a statement at least like that is kind of warranted at this point after the American Eagle ad, but I'm not on her PR team. Now let's talk about another situation where she clearly was not consulting her PR team. Because this controversy is not just about a public statement that's gone wrong. It also connects to the American Eagle thing and the Squatch thing and the conversation about her being more of a brand than an authentic personality. And that is when she was talking about how she didn't get that much money from Euphoria. Sydney Sweeney had done this interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and she was talking about how despite earning Emmy nominations, which again, I thought she was a good actress, but that even though she'd received Emmy nominations and Euphoria was as huge of a success as it was, she said that she doesn't have the income to afford a 6-month break, which to a lot of people felt extremely out of touch. Let me read this. If I wanted to take a 6-month break, I don't have income to cover that, she said. I don't have someone supporting me. I don't have anyone I can turn to pay my bills or call for help, ... They don't pay actors like they used to. And with streamers, you no longer get residuals. The established stars still get paid, but I have to give 5% to my lawyer, 10% to my agents, 3% or something like that to my business manager. I have to pay my publicist every month, and that's more than my mortgage. Obviously, a lot of people felt like that was out of touch because she's Sydney Sweeney. She's incredibly famous. She's incredibly successful. She's on a hit TV show, and she can, like that, secure brand deals that are far above what like influencers are getting. Like, that is kind of an absurd thing to say, and it does make you look bad. I think that she is comparing herself to other people in the industry, and this is probably coming from a place of imposter syndrome. She's new to the industry. She sees all these other people around her. She's like, fuck, we're not getting residuals. What's his name? Drake Bell. He's sus. I feel really bad for, because there was the Nickelodeon documentary. I feel horrible for him, and there was like that awful stuff that went on, but didn't he move to Mexico? Yeah, his ex-girlfriend said that he verbally and physically abused her when they were in a relationship the couple days between 2006 and 2009. Lingefeld said she started dating Bell when she was 16 and he was 20, and that she moved in with him at that age. He denied it. But then he moved to Mexico afterwards. Okay, anyways, that's just something that I think about sometimes. But I had seen a video recently where he was talking about how he doesn't even make residuals off of Drake and Josh, which is so fucking insane. Drake doesn't get residuals off of Drake and Josh. Neither does Josh. I understand why Sydney Sweeney was at that time talking about how she felt underpaid because of the streamers and everything like that. Yeah. Because that is extremely effed. If you just sell to a streamer, you don't get residuals for that. You don't get anything from that because it's not like a syndicated thing on like fucking TBS. You don't get any money. No cheddar cheese, even though it's Netflix or Amazon Prime or HBO Max. The entertainment industry is extremely messed up. That's not shocking or new. But the interview that Sydney Sweeney did is a little bit just like not thinking clearly about how it's gonna come off, because yeah, you can't take a 6-month break. Oh no, you can't take a 6-month break. By the way, you probably could. You would be less successful if you did, but you could do it. A lot of people don't have to also factor in like, oh, if I take a 6-month break, I'm not gonna be as famous anymore. It's like, oh, well, I would run out of money in a month. It's just a failure of understanding that this is an interview that's gonna be read. It's not an interview where you're just talking amongst industry peers. That conversation amidst industry peers is totally valid. But when it's a public facing interview, it is bad. Like, I have an idea, it's dumb. But it also shows a level of insecurity. Insecurity might not be the right word, but I need to make more money. I'm worried about money a little bit. I'm thinking about money at the very least. How am I gonna make more money? How am I gonna really establish myself? Well, what if I make a shitload of money selling my bathwater for Dr. Squatch and then say, hey, I'm wearing jeans, something about my body composition, and now I'm wearing, my eyes are up here. By the way, did you know the genetics are passed down from generation to generation? So white hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. If your race makes it, what, Sydney? You said race what? What are you talking about? Are you not talking about your American Eagle jeans?
In the year 1946, Goebbels had an idea.
What? Huh?
I think her ad is fantastic.
But my point is, she really wants to be that type of person. She wants to be this generation's that. Our Audrey Hepburn, our Grace Kelly, our Pamela Anderson. Hey, shout out Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson. I hope you find your daughter, dude.
I will find you.
But all of that is why I'm not surprised that there became such like a controversy where people are saying stuff like that, which if you watch the ad just on its surface level, I think if you're like trying to have kind of like a fair and reasonable take on it, I don't think that you would immediately jump to this is Nazi propaganda. I think that it is a big blind spot. Clearly it's a big blind spot because it blew up so big. But I do think that a part of the reason that it blew up so big is because all of these things are reasons to not like her. There are so many reasons back to back to not like her. And I find it interesting that the campaign didn't push the fact that her jeans are like also going towards a domestic violence charity. Like I found this from NBC. The campaign is for American Eagle's new fall collection featuring a limited edition denim jacket and the Sydney jean created in collaboration with Sydney. The jeans display a butterfly motif representing domestic violence awareness, and all revenue from its sales will be donated to the Crisis Text Line, a nonprofit offering free 24/7 mental health support according to the campaign. Why is that not what the campaign is about? If that's the message of the campaign, then how come I only find out about it if I go to nbcnews.com/news/US-news/American-Eagle? Why is the main thing of it genetics? Genetics. You ever hear about genetics? Yeah, I mean, I heard about genetics in biology class when I was making Punnett squares like a fucking demon. Lil P, Big P, Lil P, Lil P. Lil P, Lil P, Lil P, Big P. Lil P, Lil P, Lil P, Big P. 50% chance of the dominant gene. I know that! You showed that to me on the first page of a test. I know I'm walking out with 100%. Mrs. Barfield, that was my teacher. Her name was Mrs. Barfield. And I felt like there was a tension between us, and I felt like she did not like me that much. But as we progressed in the schooling, I felt like we came to an understanding where we both had a mutual respect for each other. And I love Mrs. Barfield. And I think that I should have paid more attention in class. But I know about Punnett squares! However, outside of Mrs. Barfield's class, I'm not really hearing about genetics unless it is from that guy who is in that corner of a room and he's wearing the most devious fedora.
Well, you know, with the current rate of white people,
The current rate of what?
decline of the population of pure
pure. Someone in the room should have known that when you start talking about genetics, a little bit it is gonna go that way, especially if you do start pushing it towards blonde hair, blue eyes, white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, white woman. Should have been somebody who said, oh. And so this has been a closer look with Seth Meyers. I just wanted to look closer into the situation and then also give the whole context, look at the broader situation of Sydney Sweeney's career, have a little bit of fun, make a couple jokes. I mean, do I think that she is a Nazi? No. Do I understand why people are primed to hate her? Yes. Do I see how this campaign could be interpreted as a dog whistle and might be used as a dog whistle even if it wasn't intentional? But it might have been. Yeah, there's an argument to be made there. I do see that. But I think the biggest indictment of the whole thing is there just was a huge blind spot that was missed. And I gotta know who's in the writer's room of this, because if you're missing a blind spot that's that big, gotta broaden the scope of like who is working on your team, or make the culture where somebody can actually stand up and say something. I don't know if y'all have seen the rehearsal season 2, but maybe there were some co-pilots in the room of that board meeting and they just felt scared to say, it kind of feels like, well, that is also a good point, because do you want to be the guy who's like, somebody, that's the thing, okay. This is funny. You kind of, when you're doing like a pitch for a brand like this, they put it on like a PowerPoint slide, they're going through the whole thing. If you're sitting in that room and your supervisor is sitting there, and they've got this whole campaign, they're like, guys, we've got Sydney Sweeney. We found out about a homonym with Gene and Gene. We're gonna talk about, oh, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Blue, she has blue eyes and blue jeans, so we're gonna marry that together. Also, you know, blonde hair and she's white, so we can talk about that. This is my theory of what went wrong. I think if you're in that room, you might be thinking it, but you don't want to be the guy who raises his hand and says, hey, I know you put a lot of time into this whole PowerPoint. You got Sydney Sweeney and the whole thing is kind of based around like Sydney Sweeney genes and like genetics and stuff. But a little bit reminding me of like Goebbels and eugenics and like white genocide. That's the thing. Because I think that that's honestly probably what happened. Because I just can't imagine that nobody involved didn't see what was happening. I think that it's just such an awkward thing that you don't want to bring it up to your supervisor, who really, by the way, again, put a lot of time and effort into that PowerPoint presentation. Saying this a little bit might get backlash for parroting a little bit of like white genocide. You don't want to say white genocide in a board meeting, especially if you're the underling and your supervisor put together a kick-ass PowerPoint with incredible transitions. That's gotta be what happened. I think it's a classic example of that pilot, co-pilot communication thing. You don't want to talk about it. It's gonna be awkward if you bring up white genocide. It's gonna be weird if you throw out the word Nazi propaganda to a dude who's just talking about like American Eagle genes. It feels crazy to say that, but this is what happens when you don't say that. I need confirmation on if that happened though. If you were in that board meeting, just DM me. I'd have to know. But I really appreciate y'all watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, but you watch the videos, subscribe because it really helps me. And also, if you see like a Coop video and you're recommended, those ones are fun. I have so much fun on the Coop channel. I love you so much. Bye.
Yeah, I have something to say. I liked the presentation a lot, and I thought it was good, but so there was one on the fourth ad. There's a part where it's going from generation to generation. Look, I don't know. I want to be weird. Yeah, I want to be weird. I don't want to be weird by saying this. I think there's an argument to be made. There might be some backlash about that. Why? Aryan race